Still waiting on Diablo IV with bated breath? Here are 9 games to play in the meantime. It's been decades that we've fought off the Lord of Terror, and no matter how many soul stones we get through, we're still eager to jump back into the fray for hours of hacking, slashing, and all-important looting. And Diablo, the series, not the demon, has been generous, giving us 3 titles to enjoy. But since the last one came out in 2012 and the next is a good year away still, it's time to find something else to scratch that action RPG itch. So with that in mind, Louise and I have collected 9 games with enough loot to rival the series that you can play on PC right now. Before we open up this treasure chest of games, however, ooh, shiny, make sure to subscribe to Logitech G. And if you do already subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. For now though, here are the best games to play on PC if you love Diablo.
Path of Exile is a deep, dark fantasy river of action role-playing.
It's nice not to be dead yet.
From the start, what you might recognise is the vast spiderweb skill tree. It can look daunting, like an 8-legged beast worthy of our recent list for arachnophobes to avoid. But all it means is that you get to build whatever kind of character you like. Be an elemental witch who uses her mana to blast foes, a slow but powerful barbarian who can kill with one blow, or the intelligent shadow who lets their traps do all the work. But the customization here goes one step further. You're here for games like Diablo, and in Path of Exile, there's loot on loot on loot. Literally, you can combine the gems and items you find to make even more unique and powerful character combinations. Plus, the best part is that it's totally free, so you can enact your gothic revenge without spending a cent, and still look amazing doing it.
A fish, waterlogged witch, washed up in raid classed. That's the first line of the poem I'm writing about you, Exile. Easy go. You could scorch a bloke with a look like that.
In Diablo 2, you have the chance to be a life force-sucking vampire assassin, but not the vampire assassin. No, in Van Helsing, you take on the role of the notorious, all-knowledgeable monster hunter. Well, his son, but you're hoping to live up to the name. This version of his ongoing story has you taking down hordes of scientific abominations and fantasy beasts, rather than the classic blood-sucking fiends. You're in 19th century Eastern Europe, which is inundated with magical elements and experimental scientists. And not the good kind. Unless big walking rat people is good in your book. Here you can dungeon crawl your way across atmospheric landscapes, complete with gloomy forests and soot-stained cities. Then, when the foes do inevitably turn up, you can hack through close-quarter melee, keep your distance and blast from afar, and use the detailed leveling system to customize how you turn things into meaty chunks. Yes, rat, thug, or beast, we all turn into chunks in the end. Poetic, really.
My word! That was an incredible rescue, Hunter.
And an entirely pointless one, so it seems.
Don't say that. Good deeds are never pointless.
Grim Dawn has often been dubbed a spiritual successor to Diablo II. 2 otherworldly powers fighting it out? Sounds familiar. Fast-paced hack-and-slash combat? Sign me up. And chest upon corpse of loot. Oh yes, now I'm interested. Grim Dawn is set in an apocalyptic world where your actions can mean life or death. And that's not just because you've got a big slashy sword.
Greetings, child. I am pleased to see that the taint of possession has left you. Should you require it, I offer spiritual guidance to the survivors.
Your choices along the way have consequences, so role-playing always goes beyond your class. And speaking of, each class is an entirely unique fighter, utilising distinctive tactics such as elemental magic, deadly curses, or rallying others on the battlefield. Or you could always combine two options at later levels to get even deeper customisation, then let them loose on hundreds of enemy types. Whacking and blasting various beasts just never really gets old.
Thanks to your efforts, we may yet hold out here a little longer. Take some well-deserved time to rest and recover. Welcome to Devil's Crossing.
Let's step away from the moody woods and monstrous creatures to the warm shores of ancient Greece. A place where centaurs and satyrs frolic amongst the hills, ready to meet the sharp end of your sword. Yes, you're the human warrior who's going to turn from zero to hero after pelting enough goatmen with your fists. And eventually the weapon of choice for your class. So your usual fearsome axe or sparkly staff.
If you're going out there, don't go unprepared. It is not safe. Buy what you need here.
Okay, there's 28 to choose from, so it's a little more nuanced than that. But what really matters is listening to crickets chirp as you slay mythical beings. Some of you may remember the original release in 2006, and this 2016 revamp is all the stories and beasts you remember. I'm looking at you, Nessus, plus those all-important quality of life upgrades. Like being able to see Nessus in crisp detail as he sends you back to a rebirth fountain again.
A particularly savage centaur named Nessus has killed several of our farmers. He runs wild in the Pelena Valley. Kill the beast, and I'll see you get to speak to Leonidas.
Hacking, slashing, and time travel? Yep, Last Epoch is an action RPG where you can go back to the future of the mythical world of Eterra. Just don't expect a DeLorean to show up anytime soon. But you're not just exploring time for the fun of it, although it is fun. It's a chance to change the fate of this world. Despite still being in early access, there's already a story to enjoy, with more on the way. Like many others on this list, there are extensive classes to select and build upon. However, Last Epoch even lets you customize individual skills. Yes, there are skill trees for your skill trees. Here you can turn elemental damage into a chain attack, or give your hammer the power to blast from afar rather than whack up close. This means that even within classes, you can continue honing your own personal playstyle. And what will feel familiar is chasing down that epic loot, with the randomised system making you always want to play just that little bit more.
You dare defy Raya's will!
Continuing with our theme of stepping back in time, Torchlight II is another entry from a few years back. But that's a testament to how enjoyable the series is. Fans of Diablo will likely be familiar, and the two have often been compared. It's another dungeon-crawling hack and slash. Explore the world, complete quests, and battle whatever stands in your way. But it's not a clone, with skills, classes, and combat recognizable but different.
Let me show you what fell off the back of the wagon.
Plus, you get a pet, and who doesn't want a fluffy companion everywhere they go? And they're not the kind to die in your first fight, so you need to leave them at home by the fire. These beasts are there to help. Yes, the adorable alpaca gives a mean headbutt. Monsters far and wide will start to dread the sound of its bleat. Ooh, glad that's not me.
You have become more skillful.
In many ways, being a Warhammer fan is like a gift from the gods. If you love a particular genre, all you need to do is flip a coin, and by the time it lands, someone will probably have made a knockoff set in a Warhammer universe, be it 40k, fantasy, or Age of Sigmar. Even Left 4 Dead fans experienced this with Vermintide, and now Diablo fans can enjoy a similar experience in Chaosbane. As is often the case in Warhammer games, you're the last hope for the Empire of Man, as you and up to 3 friends bludgeon your way through a sightseeing tour of the old world. It might not be as finely crafted as some of the other games in this video, but the compelling selection of character classes and story by Black Library author Mike Lee will be enough for anyone who still feels the impossible appeal of anything that Games Workshop touches.
The servants of Nurgle flourish in darkness and filth. Our battle against the cult has only just begun.
Book of Demons is a pop-up book of nightmares. Great looking nightmares, may I add. Its paper style folds out around you each time you enter a dungeon, which is where you'll spend most of your time. You hack and slash your way through skeletons, zombies, and gargoyles, hoping to rid the cathedral of its devilish presence. Plus, unlike some other titles on this list, you don't need to commit days at a time to get anywhere. You can select how long you want to dungeon crawl at a time. So perfect if you want to dive into a quest without having to write off a whole evening.
Rest in pieces.
And before you even ask, yes, there is plenty of loot to keep you happy. Book of Demons even has a feature where if you've missed even the smallest amount of worn coins, it won't call the level complete, so you can run back and collect that precious gold. This one coin is going to make all the difference.
If you allow yourself to falter, you shall become defenseless and even risk losing your immortal soul.
Okay, chances are you probably don't need anyone to tell you to play Borderlands if you love looting. But here I am anyway to tell you to make friends with a really annoying yellow robot, because guns. So many guns.
Oh, but this first part will require charisma and charm. And since you have none of those, just watch the master. Me, Claptrap!
I'm also not here to count the other similarities to Diablo, because there aren't many, let's be honest. But there are few things more satisfying than blasting through a cartoony map and obsessing over every single chest of firepower. And there are plenty of reasons to revisit the Handsome Collection before you even pick up Borderlands 3. An infectious sense of humour, fun characters, and wave upon wave of goons to test absurd ammo on make these games an essential trigger-happy loot fest.
You? One more step and it'll be your last. You should have seen the look on your face.
Then, once you've well and truly exhausted the murderous sights that Pandora has to offer, head into Borderlands 3 to escape to other equally shooty planets, where, yes, there are more guns. Thanks for asking.
I am unstoppable!
So that was the best games like Diablo to play on PC. Let us know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to hacking your way through, and if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. For more features all about the games you love, subscribe to Logitech G and hit that notification bell so that you know when our next video lands. Yeah, just like loot.